Appalachian sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it coming in. Golden, golden, I'll follow only golden, 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 golden things.
Hi you guys, welcome back to another episode of Life with Z. Today we have a whole list of things that we are wanting to get done. I am going on vacation next week, and so of course I want to get the house whipped into shape. We need to clean up the kitchen, do some laundry, tidy the bathrooms. I'm really looking forward to getting all of these things checked off the to-do list. Hopefully you have a few things on your to-do list too, so you can work alongside me as we get things done. Let's get started. All right, you guys, we are jumping right in. Time to tackle this kitchen. We are just getting over some sickness in this house, so time to put away this humidifier, pack it away, and hopefully we won't have to bring it out for quite a while. We've got a pile of dishes in the sink that need to be taken care of, some kitchen towels on the back counter that need to be folded and put away, so let's get into it. It's finally August, my favorite time of year. Summer is winding down and I'm getting ready to go on my final vacation of the summer. Hopefully you have all had a great summer as well, and I am so excited to start putting together some fall content for you to enjoy. I love summer, but fall is always a great season and I enjoy creating cozy atmosphere at home, all the fall recipes. And I know we have a lot to look forward to, but for now, we're living in the moment, enjoying summer. There's still quite a heat wave going on, so let's enjoy the season that we're in before we move on to the next. We've got all the dishes cleaned up, so we'll wipe down the sink before we move on to our next task. Hopefully you are working right alongside me and tackling your to-do list. We have 15 minutes of motivation today, so pick something that you've been putting off and let's get it done. I've been putting off filling this dish soap at the kitchen sink, so let's get that filled up so it's one less thing to worry about when we get back from vacation. If you're looking for a nicer way to have your dish soap on your kitchen counter, I'd highly recommend just using a hand soap dispenser that matches your kitchen faucet. It looks way more intentional and put together, and it's an easy way to keep it in arm's reach. We'll get these few hand wash items dried and put away before we move on to folding those kitchen hand towels. I have so many kitchen towels in my kitchen, but it's one of my favorite things to have extra of. You never know when you're gonna need extra, and for us it saves so much extra paper towel use, so it's definitely worth it. Next up, we'll wipe down the counters using my Method Granite Cleaner. I love this cleaner for polishing the counters without leaving residue, and I always like to have fresh, clean counters, so whether I need to whip up a quick meal or just set something down or sit at the counter, it's really nice to have a clean surface ready to go. Next up, I will make the bed and get this space nice and tidy before we head on to our next task, which is vacuuming and mopping the main floor. I'm really excited to try out a new tool that I got on the Prime Day sales this summer. I've been wanting to try the vacuum steam mop combination, so we went ahead and ordered that, and today we're gonna try it out. Honestly, I have some pretty mixed reviews. I'm going to tell you all about the pros and cons after using it for a few times in my house, but here I am just kind of putting the vacuum mop together. So I will say there are quite a few parts. You have the dirty water tank here that I'm clicking in, and then we'll fill the clean water tank with tap water. I will say that is an added benefit. Just using tap water versus distilled or anything else makes it really simple and easy to use. So we'll get that filled up, and then it's easy installation to clip onto the back of the vacuum. We'll shake out the rugs before we get going with our new tool. So this vacuum steam mop is the Taneco cordless, and honestly, it is really techy and cool. It does kind of have a self-propelled feature. The vacuum itself is about 10 pounds, and then it's self-propelled, so as you're vacuuming, once the vacuum is on, it kind of pulls it forward, which I did like, and it heats up really quick. The light on the front is a nice added feature, and I felt like it cleaned pretty well. I will say, when I use my traditional steam mop, I can feel the flooring that I've covered already kind of warm from the steam, and I didn't feel that with this vacuum, but I'm sure it's still working. It just wasn't as warm. And then the vacuum feature itself, picking up dust and little particles on the ground, is definitely not as strong as my Dyson. So that made me like this a little bit less. I really enjoy picking up all the dust and dirt with my Dyson vacuum and then going over my steam mop, and the warmth that the steam creates really lets me know that it's sanitizing and cleaning my floors. So here's another view, just shows you the steam that's being created. Once I clean my floors, you click the steam mop back into the charging dock. This will show you that it's sensing the dirt level, and it has a self-clean mode. So here it is, kind of flushing the steam mop out with clean water, and then you take the dirty water tank and you just dump it out. So I tried dumping it in the sink before, but with all of the dirt that it had picked up, it didn't feel like the best option. So I would recommend, if you do go this route, go ahead and dump it in the toilet, and then you can rinse out all the parts and pieces before you move on. So while I think this tool is really neat in that it can vacuum and mop at the same time, to me the biggest downside is having to completely disassemble it and take all these parts and pieces off, fully washing them and drying them to prevent mold. I read quite a few reviews that said if you just leave the steam mop fully assembled, it's really going to start to smell, which obviously makes sense when you have water and dirt in trapped areas. So after vacuuming and mopping, it took about the same amount of time that normally takes me to vacuum, but then washing all these parts and pieces and leaving them to dry took even more time than mopping with my standard mop. So all in all, I think this is a great tool, but for my particular use and the level I like to clean, I'm gonna go ahead and send this one back and stick with my process that works for me. Next on the to-do list was to give the ceiling fan in my bedroom a good dusting. I was long overdue to break out the Swiffer and give this a once-over. I like to use my Dyson at the same time just to catch any falling dust from landing on the bed below. So we'll get this cleaned up before we move on. Getting ready to head out of town for a week, and I had quite a bit of laundry to fold and put away. So we'll get all these things taken care of, and then I had a few dresses that I also wanted to steam. I love having a clothing steamer on hand. It's so helpful for fabrics that you can't easily iron. So we'll get these few dresses steamed and wrinkle-free before we move on to packing for vacation. I've showed you guys my method before, but when packing for a long trip, I always like to lay out all my potential outfit ideas so that I can pack as intentionally as possible and pack specific outfits for different parts of my trip. This particular trip, I had a few mini trips planned within where I would be visiting different people and going different places. So I was able to use my packing cubes to kind of break out those different parts of my vacation. So we'll get all my clothes packed up and ready to go, and then the next morning I can easily grab any toiletries or last minute items and throw them in the suitcase as well. I was so looking forward to this last vacation of the summer. So many fun, exciting things to celebrate and friends and family to see. And like I mentioned earlier, I am so looking forward to the upcoming fall season. Be sure to leave in a comment below on what type of content you would love to see for fall. I already have lots of cleaning and decorating and baking planned, but I'd love to hear your suggestions as well. I'm putting my final pieces in my packing cubes so that we can get these packed up in the suitcase and ready to go for the next day. It's so nice the next morning to just have to pack your few toiletries and load up the suitcase before you head out on your trip. So, like I mentioned before, we have lots of exciting content upcoming. I can't wait to spend some time with you and celebrate the upcoming holidays, and I look forward to seeing you next. Alright, you guys, that's all for today. Thank you so much for spending the time with me. I hope you found some motivation and got a few things done on your to-do list too. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe for more videos just like this one, and I'll see you next week for a brand new video. Bye!
Appalachian sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it.